Dear God, I'm trying to incorporate isolation into my training, and so far I've been up here for 1 whole week, totally isolated, and I have not experienced any bicep development whatsoever.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to use progressive overload with isolation movements. Now this is a pretty simple question to answer. It's just really the same principle as you apply to compound lifts, except for the difference is with isolation movements is that I'd recommend that you stay in the higher rep ranges. So a lot of times people mix up progressive overload. They think automatically that you have to be using low rep ranges in order to apply that same principle. But with isolations, say you're sticking to 15 to 20 reps for lateral raises. And those are your sets. You're always doing 15 to 20 reps when it comes down to using a dumbbell of 15 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever it might be. And then you find that you can get in that rep range very easily with a given weight. Then you just raise that weight by incremental amount. Maybe it's only a pound or two, or maybe it's 2.5 pounds, or maybe it's 5 pounds, whatever it is. But all you do is just raise the weight, and then from there, you just use those sets that way. It's really a simple sort of premise.
Where does my daddy put the bad people? Where do they go? And what is a subscriber?
Now, the mistake a lot of times people do is that they will do isolations and use them like compounds where they try to do powerlifting type of techniques with them, and that can be dangerous. It can put a lot of stress on that one muscle group and at the same time give you a risk of injury or a muscle tear, because if you strain a muscle group too much and there's nowhere for that force to go except for on that muscle group, like in a compound, you can adjust your elbow. If you're bench pressing, you feel too much pressure in the pec, then you could try to bend the elbow more, or maybe transfer some of the stress to the tricep or use the shoulder more. There's different places for that stress to go during a compound because you're using multiple joints in the movement. But with an isolation, there's not. There's just basically that muscle, and whether it contracts or whether it tears, that's really the risk. And if you use too much force, with isolations, if you use too much force, you're going to basically just cause an injury or pull the muscle in some ways.
You really shouldn't have went that heavy on the isolation movements. Guess you learned your lesson now, huh?
I've found it's a better policy to stick to the 10 to 25 or 30 rep ranges, or even higher with isolations, and use the heavier weights or the heavier rep ranges with the compounds. So it seems like it might not transfer over, but it really does. When you get stronger than compounds, your isolation movement also naturally goes up in strength for the most part. So say you're doing shoulder presses, you'll notice that some of that strength from the shoulder press does transfer to the lateral raise to a point. So there is no need for you to use 5 rep sets on lateral raises or 5 rep sets on your rotator cuff muscles, like doing external rotator cuff exercises and doing, super heavy weights, just getting 5 reps in. Okay, I was just training in the garage and I just came up with another solution to fixing my channel. I mean, I hired Mr. G to threaten people. I even did some threats of my own to make sure people subscribe. But I thought, you know what? Screw this workout thing. It's just saturated. There's just so much bodybuilding and workout stuff on YouTube. And that's why I decided to change genres. Now I'm going to be doing purely a lookbook channel. That's really my calling. That's it. I'm just going to do that. Yeah, that's basically the main way. Once you can get a certain rep range very easily, then just raise the weight as incrementally as you can. Maybe it's just 2.5 pounds. So you go from the 15-pound dumbbells to 17.5-pound dumbbells, and then you work with those until, once again, you meet that rep range very easily, and then you move up again. So I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot to the patient supporters, and if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalglandbodybuilding.com and take care for now.
Mountain.